Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be responding to a School of Life video called What True Love Really Is. And I think this is a video that does a decent job explaining what the wrong view of love is, the more altruistic view. And I think there's a lot of good stuff that I can point out in this video, and there's definitely at the end of the video there's a lot of stuff I wanted to say. So we'll see how this goes. I've only watched this video once, so let's see what I see.
The world is sick for a surprisingly modest-sounding reason. We don't understand love. And
Agreed. I think there's a very altruistic version of love that a lot of people adhere to right now. A lot of people view love as this altruistic, self-sacrificial thing. So I'd say in general, yes, we don't understand love. That's a good point, School of Life. Now let's see if you are contributing to that misunderstanding as well, though, in this video.
yet we're rather convinced that we do. We talk a lot of love, of course, but generally in terms of a dizzying rapture lasting a few months, focused on someone's beauty, intelligence, and strength. We have high ideals and refer with confidence.
There's this strange sort of hatred of romanticism that I notice in a lot of people when thinking about love. Like there's this disdain for the pleasure and the emotions that get wrapped up in the experience of love that a lot of people tend to have. I see this a lot with people like Paul Joseph Watson or him especially. He has a video talking about love as well, and there's just this disdain for romanticism, this disdain for the passion that comes, the emotional passion that comes with love. And this is one of the most positive aspects of love, this sort of idealistic view of it, where you see the virtues in another person and you appreciate them for that, and you feel pride due to the fact that you are loved by a virtuous person. So all these things are important. They're all very important aspects of love. So be careful not to de-romanticize love and not view it as not have an idealistic view of it. Now, obviously, you're not going to achieve some perfect ideal. You can't be platonic in that sense, but don't entirely reject the physical here. Don't entirely reject the emotions that you feel. You're a human being with a body that has desires for love. Don't be careful not to reject romanticism. That's what a lot of people do, and I think that's what this video kind of gets into. It rejects the sort of romantic ideal of love, and makes love into something that's not even worth pursuing. It cuts off the emotional passion that comes with love that makes it worth it.
To concepts like justice, equality, and rights, and yet somehow in the mix we avoid talking of the sort of love that would give true life to any of these. We are law-abiding and righteous, but we are, in the grandest sense, in the public square, without love. The most convincing definitions of love.
So, there is a sense in which a lot of people are definitely struggling with love, and there's a sort of tendency of a lot of people not to find love. There's a lot of people who don't go out and start relationships, and there's this sort of very short-term materialistic view of love that's common in the culture. But there's also this very religious sort of love that also has a very destructive effect on people as well, where they become sexually repressed, and where their love is not as romantic and not as idealized as a lot of people would say, and people feel guilt for feeling this sort of passion that comes with love. So there's a lot of problems with how people view love. And yeah, I could share my experience with being a religious person. I would just feel guilty when in one of my first relationships for doing anything physical with the person, and I just feel this intense guilt because it's I gotta save all this stuff for marriage. I'm not supposed to be oh, should I even make out with this person? That was the sort of shit that would go through my mind, because I would feel guilty for feeling passionate, for feeling an emotional passion, when that's something that you should embrace, because that's a very positive aspect of life. But oh no, he's talking about Jesus now, so we know where this video is going.
In the West have come from Jesus of Nazareth, which has proved unfortunate, given how easy it is for rational types to confuse an overcoming of supernatural faith with a neglect of the subject of love.
So basically, this is sort of what they're doing. They're taking all the Christian philosophy. They reject the mysticism, but keep all the morality. And this is a big problem that Rand pointed out as well. All these secular philosophers, they hold on to the Christian morality while rejecting religion, while rejecting the mysticism, but they basically replace it with the same thing, and it has all those same problems of religion, of altruism, all those sort of things.
To move forward, we require a new philosophy of love. In effect, a powerful...
A new philosophy. It's just the religious stuff repackaged under new terms, basically. It's just a new rationalization for altruism in the form of love. In the realm of love, I mean.
Secular religion of love. This should be read out after the news. And it's
a religion of love read out after the news. Oh my god, this is so cringe. I'm sorry. School of Life is very cringe, but I shouldn't use the word cringe because I'm kind of turning into a griper, but hey man, this is fucking cringe, guys. This is cringe. Listen to this. Is not based at all. Holy shit.
Tenets taught to CEOs and supply chain managers. We should put it on t-shirts, and it should be as common and more useful to say, I'm trying to learn to love, as to announce a desire to become fit or famous. It's no insult to have to acknowledge that even though we...
I mean, sure, love is something that, like, is something to be learned to an extent, I think. Like, it's something, like, you have to have experiences with love, obviously, before you can truly love somebody. Like, you can't... Like, if you want to actually end up getting into a real relationship, you have to have practice dating people, practice talking to people, all those sort of things. So there's a sense in which, yeah, I do want to learn to love, but you do that by, like, talking to people, having other relationships with people, getting out and experiencing the world. I mean, this is a problem with a lot of people have as well. They don't ever, like, step out of their bubble and go, like, talk to girls or go try to go on dates with people or, like, yeah, just get out and experience the world as it is. Some people, they have these almost platonic standards that a certain woman must meet because they have to achieve true love the first time, but that's not going to happen. You're gonna go through breakups. You're gonna go with people that aren't the best person in the world, and that's not a bad thing. It's a good thing because you're gaining experience and you're learning to love. So, hey, I can twist what this guy's saying into something positive. There we go. Let's go.
Inhabit a culture soaked in romanticism, we have problems understanding love. And even though
we
had
certainly
plenty
do.
of crushes and heard plenty of songs about love, we're still taking our first steps towards grasping what love might actually be. Here, then,
I would say that the current society has this weird dichotomy of love that comes from our separation of mind and body. That is essentially this problem of a materialistic view of love versus a, like, spiritual view of love without the material. So there's the first one, which is basically people feeling like entirely empty. It's entirely physical. There's no spiritual value that comes from any of this, and that's very unfulfilling, obviously, because you're not gaining any pride from that relationship. You're just gaining, like, sex, basically. It's just the moving of molecules, the rubbing of organs against other organs. Like, that's a very, very materialistic and not non-spiritual sense of love. But then there's also the spiritual disconnected from the material. Look, the material fucking feels good. The emotions that you feel, they feel good. These are good emotions. These are pleasurable emotions. And they're life-serving as well when it's with the right person, when it's with someone that gives you pride. What's the difference between a, like, purely spiritual relationship without the emotions of romance and just a friendship? There isn't. There really isn't. If anyone's had experience with relationships that are very, like, not physical and very those sort of things, like, you understand that these friendship these feel like friendships. They feel like not a real romantic relationship, and there's positive values that you can gain from that, but it's entirely disconnected from the body. It's entirely disconnected from romanticism. And there's no difference between this sort of materialistic view of relationships and romance and just masturbation. Like, you might as well just go into your room and masturbate constantly, because there's no real difference between the two. It's just trying to find ways to orgasm into it. You're just orgasming into a person. Like, there's no spiritual value that comes with that. There's no positive values that come with that. Like, masturbation would almost be better because you're gaining that sexual self-sufficiency from that. But obviously masturbation wouldn't feel as good as being inside of a woman. Cringe. Oh, get in the comments and say fucking cringe. 9 minutes and 50 seconds, cringe.
Are 7 key constituent ingredients of love: charity. Love means,
Oh my god, it's charity. Yes, because because the woman that you love is this homeless beggar who you're just giving your love to as charity. How is that supposed to make you feel pride in knowing that somebody loves you out of charity because you're so weak that you can't gain values on your own? You need this person to just be charitable to you. You don't actually deserve this love. You just have this person being charitable to you. I mean, what a disgusting view.
Anything else, benevolence and gentleness towards what is failed, disgraced, broken, unappealing, angry, and foul in
Oh my god. Look at what this means directly. He's saying you have charity. You look with affection on something that's broken and disgusting and vile. What the fuck? This is not love. Holy shit. Imagine being in a relationship with somebody who has this view of love that, oh, you're broken, you're vile, you're weak, but I love you though. And this is ideal love. This is what love is about. It's about giving you this charity. You're going to feel fucking terrible. How do you get pride out of that love? You gain no spiritual values out of that love whatsoever. Love is useful because of the pride that you gain from knowing that this person, this incredible virtuous person, loves you and like has this feeling of love for you, and it boosts your self-esteem because of that person's virtues, and because they see those virtues in you, because they can point out the positive virtues in you. Not this fucking, oh, you're vile and disgusting and I'm just going to charitably love you. What the fuck?
In other people and in ourselves. Love isn't about an admiration for strength. It's about directing sympathy in a most unexpected direction at what is messed up, lost, and in pieces.
This is so disgusting. Holy crap. Like, admiration is the key aspect of love, the key aspect of what makes love valuable. I don't want love as charity. I don't want somebody to love me because I'm weak. That's so destructive. That's a way that love lowers your self-esteem. That's not a sense of love that I want to have. Why is this a value? Why is love a value if it's something where it's just somebody loving you in spite of all your flaws, or loving you because of your flaws? Like, that's terrible.
And at what we might hate, resent, and be frightened of. Anyone can express an interest in perfection. To love is to devote an active charity towards the mistakes and aberrations. One day, we will all require the charity of others. In one way or another, we'll be on our knees, and we will need people.
This is what this dude thinks the essence of human nature is being on your knees and needing help from other people. This is the religious view of love, of human nature as well. This view that man is incapable and needs another person. That's not true. Man is a heroic being who can achieve his values. And if you don't believe that, you are living a depressing life. You are suppressing your ability to achieve your values if you don't understand that you have the ability to achieve your values. Your values are within your reach. And don't let these ideologues, don't let these people who want to destroy your life tell you otherwise. Oh my god, like, this is how you live a depressing life. If you view yourself as so low that you need the charity of others. Because when you receive that charity, it's unfulfilling. Because you realize that you are not capable of living. You don't deserve life. That's fundamentally what these type of people believe. That you do not deserve to live. And that the reason that you do live is because others have charity on you. And that's absolutely terrible. That is no way to go about your life.
To look past our evident failings in a tender search for our deeply hidden merits.
Okay, we're not perfect, for one. That's obviously the case. We are not perfect beings. We are not platonic, ideal beings. However, the essence of us is rationality and the ability to achieve. That is what makes us good. What makes us good is not the fact that we're not perfect. I mean, the purpose of art is to, in reality, we ignore the things that are irrelevant, and art basically cuts them away. omits them entirely. So when you create a hero in art, you're creating somebody who basically embodies all of the essential aspects of man while cutting out the irrelevant things that you're supposed to ignore in life. So when you have romantic art, when you have a romantic sense of life, I mean, this is sort of equivalent. Romantic art shows a romantic sense of life, because the romantic sense of life basically is basically looking at yourself and saying, these bad aspects, these bad things, they're irrelevant. They don't matter. They're not the essence of what a human being is. But people like this have such a malevolent view of life that they view the negative aspects of a person as essential, as the defining characteristics. The defining characteristics of a person are their virtues, are the things that make them alive, that lead them to living. Those are the things that ought to define a human being, because those are the things that make them alive, that make them who they are. Basically, is the positive aspects. Your values are what define you, and your ability to achieve those values, your virtues, are also what define you. Those are the defining features. Anything else is irrelevant, and it's what you strive to overcome. Essentially, that's part of it. What you actually are striving for is your values, while you ignore the irrelevant things, ignore the irrelevant little failures. But yeah, let's keep going.
Imagination. To love with imagination is to look beneath the surface, where there may be rage, cynicism, brittleness, or transgression, and to picture the suffering and pain that got a person to this place. To love.
I mean, this is pretty much just the same sort of stuff that they're saying before. You just look beyond this stuff and see, like, oh, this person's in pain, so we can forgive that fact. We can forgive the fact that this is a terrible person because, oh, they're in pain. Like, no, you overcome your pain. You realize that your pain is irrelevant. Your pain is not the defining feature of you. Your pain is not the defining characteristic of you. But I guess one thing that we can look at from this sort of imagination thing, that I don't like that word, but I guess if we completely obfuscate and take this out of what it actually means, what this person is actually trying to say that it means, one positive value that you can get from this concept of imagination is the idea that you look at the essence of the other person while ignoring the irrelevant faults. You ignore the faults of that person and look at what their essence is, their positive essence in a sense, because that is what defines the person, the positive essence of who that person is. Of course, there's people who are essentially negative people. There's people that are essentially not good people. And with those people, you discard them. They should not be involved in your life. You do not love those people because they're not good people and they have no value to offer you in your life. Now, what this school of life person would say is, no, you have charity for that person. Those are the best people to love. No. You want to be happy, right? Do you not want to live? Your goal in life should be to live as a human being, to live a happy life, not to completely destroy your life to love other people because they're bad people. Like, this seems so obvious to me that this is terrible, that this mentality is absolutely disgusting.
Love with imagination is to fill in the better reasons why others are behaving as they are. Imaginative love.
I mean, this is just like this is pure primacy of consciousness here. It's create new explanations that have nothing to do with reality to explain why this person might be okay because of this, even as they're just cheating on you and abusing you. Like this is how you stay in an abusive relationship, for one. Like, even as the person's being a terrible person and abusing you, you just explain it away with some possible positive interpretation. You just imagine that they have some pain inside of them that they just can't deal with any other way besides abusing you and throwing you in the closet all night. Like, holy shit, like, this is fucked up.
Knows that we are all somewhere desperate. It seeks out that desperation and treats it with sorrowful gentleness, kindness. There are so many fight.
How are they going to pervert kindness now? This scares me. It's good to be kind to people. Be kind. Be benevolent. But because you love someone, because they give you value as well, because they give you spiritual value. It's not like, oh, I'm going to give you a gift and expect you to pay me back for this gift. No, that's stupid. But you do expect repayment in some sort. You're not going to give a gift to a stranger that you don't know, or to somebody that has killed your family members. You're not going to go and say, oh, here, have $1,000. I'll give you I'll give you this $100 gift card to Target, and you can go buy whatever you want, man, because I love my enemies. Like, no, shut the fuck up. That's retarded. I'm getting very annoyed right now. Oh man, this is like, oh man. The first time watching this video, I knew it was bad, but like actually going in and explaining all the things that are bad, it's just working me up. We're only halfway through this video too.
For social justice, so many people determined to make a better world. They denounce their enemies and feel certain of their cause, but along the way, they have a fateful habit of forgetting to be kind. In their denunciations of the
Sure, this isn't terrible. Be nice to people. Certainly. Don't have a benevolent view of people because people are essentially good. That's why you have a benevolent view of people. Because people are essentially good people. In general, people are generally honest. They generally have a desire to live. How do we know that? Well, they're alive, aren't they? People are generally good people. Now, there's obviously bad people out there, and there's bad trends in the culture, but people essentially have a desire to live and be happy. All the people that I've talked to generally have that desire. So be benevolent to people. When you don't know that somebody is evil, have a general kind attitude towards them. Have optimism in the way that people can be. So that's a good thing. Be kind towards other people. Have a benevolent view of what people can achieve, because people have the ability to achieve their values and be great people. The reason why we protect other people's rights is because people are valuable free to us. People in general, when they're left to pursue their own devices, they're going to be good people. They're going to provide more value to my life free than what they would be as a slave to me. So people are generally good. That is a good reason to want to be kind to other people. And the reason is not because people are generally corrupt, and we have to love people who are corrupt because of their evil. We love evil because it's evil. Like this weird, like this is essentially what the School of Life guy is saying. He's saying love people because of their flaws. Love people because of the evil inside of them, and that's so corrupt. But let's keep going.
Evils of others, there is precious little mercy, humility, tenderness, or grace. It's not enough to be right or just. To be kind is to know that everyone, even sinners, and in a way especially sinners...
See, like, this is the shit. This is the thing. Like, oh, even sinners and especially sinners, like the bad people. Like, like I'm certainly all for forgiveness because I think people are generally and essentially good. But you don't love people because of their flaws. That's terrible. Imagine being loved for your flaws. That doesn't build pride in you. That doesn't build self-esteem. That makes you think that you are not someone that deserves love, but you're getting some charity from this person. That you're not actually somebody who deserves life and deserves your values. And I mean, if that is not a way to a quick route to depression and a quick route to an unhappy life, I don't know what is. This is why so many religious people are unhappy. I mean, like there's going to be a lot of them that tell you that they have this internal peace and all that sort of stuff. And I would have told you that 2 years ago as well. 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago at this point. But I would have told you that many years ago. But that's like deep inside, I had this view of myself as just this weak, frail, disgusting human being who didn't have the ability to achieve anything. And like, those were the things that I would focus on in life. I would focus on the times where I would stutter. I would focus on the times where I would lose my train of thought. And I just viewed myself as weak and incapable because of that, and undeserving of life and undeserving of happiness. But I desperately wanted to be happy still. And that's ultimately what converted me. That's ultimately what got me away from religion, because I had this desperate desire for happiness. And once I was shown that, no, this is possible. It is possible for me to achieve my values in this world. That's when I became an objectivist.
Deserve ongoing sympathy and mercy. It's never simply because someone is wrong that we have any right to cease showing them the greatest kindness. Forgiveness. To forgive is to know that we are, in our own way, as...
Look, there's no problem with forgiveness as such, but forgiveness is not a standard for love. The fact that you are pointing this out as the reason why we love people, what does this imply? It implies that we love people because we overcame all the bad aspects of them, because we overcame the essential flaws of human nature. I don't believe that there's essential flaws in human nature. We love people because at essence they're good people. At essence they're virtuous people that provide real values to you. Not because you're forgiving them for their innate human nature. That's stupid. Innate human nature is rationality. Innate human nature is like looking at reality and saying that these are things that I want and I want to achieve happiness. I want to be a happy person, and I have the ability to do that because I have a rational mind and I can look at reality, integrate things, and think long term and plan out how I'm going to achieve my values in reality and actually achieving those values, actually doing things that can achieve those values. Like, how can you look around at all the skyscrapers and all the technology that we have and think that human nature is essentially flaws and essentially an incapability to achieve our values? How can you do that? Like, look at all the things that human beings have created, and then try to tell me that human nature is essentially an inability to achieve values, and that to love is to forgive this innate inability. I mean, how disgusting of a view of human nature can you have? How evasive do you have to be to believe this? Just look at reality. Look at what we've created. And admire it. Admire it because it's virtuous. Don't admire it because there's some innate flaw in it. You don't admire tall buildings, skyscrapers, because one of the windows happens to have a little stain on it. You don't admire it because of that. You admire it because it's beautiful. You admire it because it serves our life by creating like office buildings, or by creating places for us to be productive, or by just creating beauty as well, because this is something that originated in the human mind. This was a value that we came up with, and then we wrote it down and we fucking built it. Like, that's beautiful. That's so amazing that something that was just envisioned in the human mind was created in reality. We shaped our reality to fit it by adhering to the laws of reality. But yeah, let us keep going with this video.
Guilty as the next person. Given what we all are, we have no option but to cut each other some slack. Of course we've failed and been hasty and less than admirable.
I mean, if I keep going, I'm going to just keep repeating myself, I think.
That's no reason forever to withhold love. We learn to forgive when we are no longer self-righteous. That is, when we're brave enough to fathom the darker sections of our own hearts. Loyalty. To love means being loyal to people. This could be ourselves, even though the crowd no longer agree.
I mean, there's no problem with loyalty to ourselves, I guess. Even if the crowd agrees, I mean, that's a positive thing, like loyal to yourself, loyal to your values, even as the other people disagree. So that's one little nugget of good in this video. But I don't love this video because essentially it's evil. Because at essence, this video is evil. So I don't love it. So, but oh shit, what was the other thing? Loyalty. Loyalty as a value in love is not a positive thing. If this person is abusive to you, if this person is destroying your life and your values, there's no reason to love them. You shouldn't love them in spite of that. That's terrible. That's the way that you destroy yourself and destroy your happiness.
Outside, the mob may be jeering, but we continue on the same side with steadfastness and an unbudgeable, resilient faith. Generosity.
No,
Love.
Don't have faith. You love somebody because you have reasons to love them, because you can see that they are actually positive to your life, that they do actually give you positive emotions. If a person is giving you disgusting negative emotions, or I guess I shouldn't say negative emotions. Well, in this context, it would actually probably be right to say negative emotions. If they are leading to all this hurt in your life, all this pain in your life, don't stay with them. Don't be loyal. I mean, like, if you don't actually want to break up with them because of that shit, then go fucking cheat on them. I don't give a fuck. Like, do what's in your self-interest. Now that's terrible to say. Break up with them. Immediately break up with them, and then go date somebody else. Like, I'm not a big fan of cheating on people. That's very fucked up. But anyways, let us keep going.
Overflows. It isn't about loving just one person. It encompasses the love of someone you've just met, of strangers in another land, of the earth, of plants, weevils, housebats, and that moth by the window who might be dead by nightfall.
Hold up.
Love overflows. It isn't about loving just one person. It encompasses the love of someone you've just met, of strangers in another land, of the earth, of plants, weevils, housebats.
This is pure fucking egalitarian bullshit. No, some people are more valuable to you than other people. And to say that everybody is equal in their value to you, and to love them everybody equally, is to imply that everybody has equal value to your life. And it's to devalue these people that offer the most value to your life. If you're in a relationship with somebody and you love them equally to how you love a stranger, or to how much you love like a fucking house bat, or whatever the weird shit that he was saying here is, that so clearly devalues that person to you. That's not somebody I want to be in a relationship with. That's not a love that I want to feel. I want to feel a passionate love for somebody that far surpasses the love that I feel for a fucking house bat or for a fucking weevil. Like, what the fuck is this shit? Or for a stranger. Like, I feel benevolence to strangers, but I'm not going to love them as much as I love a significant other or a spouse. That's stupid. Holy crap. Oh my god. This is like straight up evil. This is how you destroy values in a human being, by saying everything holds equal value and that you ought to value things equivalently, that you ought to love everything equivalently. No, there's some things that you hate because they so clearly go against the things that you love. And if you're incapable of hating something, if you're incapable of hating the loss of your values, do you really feel as much do you really value your values as much as you claim to? You don't. You clearly don't. If something destroys your values, you should feel outraged by it. You should feel outraged by something coming in and saying that and attacking your values because you feel those values so strongly. And if you don't feel that outrage, you don't really have those values held strongly within you. You don't really value those things as strongly as you possibly could. And if you view those values as equivalent, if you view every person as equal in how much you should love them and how much you should value them, you are degrading the people that you ought to love the most. And you are ultimately degrading the feelings that you can gain from love. You are degrading the value that you can get from romance and love. And that is one of the worst possible things that you can do in your life, because along with career, love is one of the highest values that you can achieve in life. The emotions and the positivity the positive emotions, and I mean positive emotions in this context is yes, is good. The happiness, the pleasure, the benevolence that you can feel, the high sense of life that you feel that comes with real love is unequal to the benevolence that you feel for a stranger, because you know that the stranger is probably essentially good. Those are not the same thing. Or the love that you feel for an animal. What value does this animal offer you? What value does a fucking house bat offer you? You kill the fucking house bat because it's a pest inside your house, and it's destroying your values. You kill it. Get it out of your house. You don't necessarily need to kill it, of course, but like, you want to get it out of your house because this is something that is destroying your values, destroying your life. You don't value it as much as you value your spouse. If you have to choose between killing your spouse and killing that house bat, that should not be a hard choice. But if you value them equally, it's an irrelevant choice. It's a choice that makes no difference for you. And that is absolutely disgusting. It's disgusting. It's disgraceful. It's so anti-human. Oh my god.
And that moth by the window who might be dead by nightfall. Patience. We want others to meet our hopes right now, but true love means giving people the time to mature and develop, to go wrong, to wander in another direction. And
I mean, there's no problem with patience. This isn't a bad thing. This specific one is not. It's not as bad as all the other ones. Like, you want to look at the essence of what a person is, and if they make a few mistakes, you got to focus on that essence and be patient. And you can explain that, you're doing this little thing wrong, or this is something that I disagree with that you're doing. Or you don't have to. If it's so irrelevant in relation to the essence, you don't have to go and explain that, because it might just cause more problems by going and explaining that. You help them learn, and You focus on the essence of what they are. You don't have to expect perfection from a person. Just expect a positive essence. Expect them to be valuable to you. Expect them to essentially improve your life and give you happiness.
And not to shout at them, but to give them every chance to grow at their own pace towards their better selves. If we can believe wholeheartedly in some of the above, it won't matter who we vote for or what our...
I believe in none of the above. Oh, even the patience one, viewing patience as the essence of love. Oh man, like viewing the fact that you have to overcome the negatives of love by being patient is such a low view of love. Like you have to wait for them. Just be patient. Ignore all the bad things that are going on, and just focus on like the one little positive things that you can see. Don't do that. Focus on the good. If they're essentially good, love them for that. Don't love them for their faults. You can still like love them because the faults are irrelevant, because the faults are irrelevant to your life and your values, but you don't love them because of those faults. You ignore them because they're insignificant. They're not significant. That is the primary here. And the school of life person seems to think that the faults are the essence of what love is, and all these things are about how to deal with the fault, the inherent flaws in human nature in these other people, and that's disgusting.
Causes we can count as part of what is helping. We should be almost done with romantic love by now. We should be setting our sights on the...
I mean, there you go. They said their intentions clearly. We should be done with romantic love. And if you, like... just look at reality. Look at what romantic love is and what positive aspects you get out of it. Obviously, not every relationship's going to be perfect. I have had bad relationships. I would consider most of my relationships to not generally be good in essence. But from those relationships, I know what love can be. I know what is possible in romantic love. And because of that, I view that as such a high value that I would never say, let's just get rid of romantic love. It's one of the highest values that you can pursue in life, along with career. Career and romantic love are the two highest values that a human being can pursue in their life. Let's keep going with this video. We got about 30 seconds left.
Challenge of this sort of love. Yet it's not surprising if we're still only at the beginning. We're just starting on the path to being human.
That's
terrible. This is so terrible.
Love is a skill that we can learn. Our relationships book calmly guides us with
Also, this is such a creepy video. The School of Life guy is so creepy. I'm gonna be honest. That's an ad hom, 100%, completely dishonest ad hom, but he's fucking creepy. More creepy than KJ, I would say.
Calm and charm through the key issues of relationships.
Obviously, I'm not saying that this woman is the School of Life guy. I'm just saying in general, the way that his voice is, the way that he talks, it's so creepy. The things that he talks about are fucking creepy as well. And the fact that he has this woman at the end with this voice, it's fucking creepy. How does this dude have 5.56 million subscribers and I only have 330? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this? Subscribe to me. Subscribe to PewDiePie. No, don't do that. Don't do that. That's an alt-right hate term. Subscribe to PewDiePie. But go down, subscribe to me, subscribe to my Patreon, subscribe to my Patreon, go follow my Twitter, and go at Destiny on fucking Discord, or go at Vouch on Twitter and make them debate me. There we go. Let's do that.
To ensure that success in love need not be a matter of good luck. For more, click the link now.
Cringe! What the fuck is this shit? This is so fucking cringe. Get this shit out of my fucking face. So yeah, there we go. I hope all of you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and comment below and hit that subscribe button, and be sure to ring that notification bell so all all of my videos appear in your notifications feed, and because we know that YouTube is constantly censoring all these independent voices like myself. Because, I mean, you know, they took down one of my videos, by the way. My April Fool's video, they took that shit down. YouTube is censoring real objectivist voices out here. So go hit that notification bell and go Patreon me. Go donate $1 on Patreon, just so that I can keep this controversial content coming out against the wills of big tech, Big Brother, Google, and all the evil things that they're promoting by censoring all these conservative voices like me. So yeah, there we go. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Peace. Stop.